Good day, everyone. Welcome back to Passlite Insight Academy. So today we are having Echo 104, useful for 100 level, 200 level students in tertiary institutions. So these are applications of differentiation to economics, to demand and supply, or to productivity. So let's solve this together. Given the following functions, A is equals 5q minus q squared, AVC is equals to 9, and FC is equals to 10. We are asked to determine the outputs that will maximize profits and the actual profit. So if you know the answer, don't forget to drop it on the comment section. So let's go on with that. We're having average fixed cost. What is the formula for average fixed cost? Average variable cost. This is V, variable cost. So average variable cost is equals to total variable cost all over quantity. So that is what we're having. So what is average variable cost? V means variable cost. We are having 9. We are looking for total variable cost all over Q. So cross multiply. 9 times Q there. So your total variable cost, 9 times Q, you're having 9Q. So that is to that. So what is the relationship? What is variable cost? A variable cost is a type of cost that changes with the level of output. So that is what we call variable cost. So let's go to fixed cost now. We have fixed cost of 10. Then what is formula for total cost? Total cost, let us know that your total fixed cost plus total variable cost. On the board now, what is your total fixed cost that was given? Total fixed cost is 10. What is your total variable cost? Your total variable cost is 9Q. So here we are having 10 plus 9Q. So that is our total cost here. Also, so I are given the average revenue. This average revenue. So what is the formula for average revenue that we can relate to this? There's a formula that said once you look for the total revenue is equals to average revenue times Q. The same formula that I use here. So when you use cross multiply, you are going to have this, because average revenue now is total revenue all over Q. So when you use cross multiply, this means this and this means, so at the end of the day, you have total revenue equals to average revenue times Q. So that is the formula. So your total revenue now is equals to your average revenue on the board, 5Q minus Q squared times Q. So use this key to open the bracket. Q times 5Q, you're having 5Q squared. Q times this one, you're having Q raised to power 3. So what is the relation between this? Go back to the question. Determine the output that will maximize profit. What is the formula for profit? If I want to know that any organization is going through profit, what is the formula? That means my revenue will be greater than the cost. Revenue is the money that is coming in. It's going to be greater than the cost. So it's total revenue minus your total cost. So if this is greater than that, means I'm at profits. But if it's this less than that, means it's loss. So let's look for the profit, the symbol for the profit. So what is your profit now? Your total revenue on the board, 5Q squared minus Q raised to power 3 minus, what is your TC? 10 plus 9Q. Let me just write it down. 10 plus 9Q. So use the minus to open the bracket. What do you have? A 5Q minus Q raised to power 3 minus times plus minus 10. Minus times plus minus 9Q. Then let's arrange. So if you wish to arrange, pi is equals to, what do you have? You're having Q, 5Q squared. Or you can arrange according to the cube. Minus Q raised to power 3. What do you have here? Plus 5Q squared minus 9Q minus 10. So that is what we are having there as our functions. So the question says we should determine the output that will maximize. So let's maximize the profits now. So maximization of the profits. To maximize the profits. Now, we are going to have outside over inside. The pi over the q as our differentiations. 3 times 1, that is minus 3q. Remove 1 from 3, that is 2. That is the law of differentiation. Plus 2 times 5, 10. 10q. Then you have minus 9. The coefficient here of the coefficient of q is minus 9. That is the answer. Then anyway, we see constant value. The derivative of constant value is 0. So if you don't know that, please try to watch my previous videos on differentiations. I've solved a lot of questions on differentiation. You can look at it. Look at the principle of differentiation. So you're having that. So let's test under the discriminant of root. Discriminant of a rule, we want to test using our formula as b squared. Or let me just use delta. So this discriminant symbol, b squared minus 4ac. From here now, from this expression, what is your a? A is the first thing, minus 3. What is b? The coefficient, 10. Then what is c? C is minus 9. We want to test that discriminant of root law. So we're having this b squared. What is b? 10 raised to power 2 minus 4, a is minus 3, and c is minus 9. That is using this formula, b squared minus 4ac. So 10 squared 100, minus times minus plus, 4 times 3, 12. Or you can multiply all of them together. Let's do that. Minus times minus times minus is minus. 4 times 3, 12. 12 times 9, what do you have? Or 3 times 9, 27 times 4. 4 times 7, 28. 4 times 2, 8. That is 10, 108. So D is 108. So 100 minus 108, that is what? Minus 8. Meaning that the company is at loss. For you to determine the maximum profit when you have negative, that means a loss maximization. So that is the answer. The other one is that the actual profits. So now to get the actual profits now, we want to know the actual profits, and we can only test if the actual profit, since we are having negative, let's test our Q as 0. So if Q is equal to 0, for instance, whether it's the to find the actual profits now. So go back to your profit. Where's your profit? You're having something here. This is your profit. This pi means profit. Substitute when Q is equal to 0. So lambda is equal to minus 0 raised to power 3 plus 5 0 raised to power 2. These expressions minus 10 minus, so where's the expression here? Raised to power 3, 5 0 raised to power 2 minus 9 open bracket 0 minus 10. So at the end of the day, when you substitute all these 0 0 0, then the final answer, the actual profit is minus 10. So that is the actual profit.